Ann as long as I have, which has to be 40 years?
Could it be that long?
Could it be that long? Mary, will you introduce our wonderful Ann?
Yes. So Ann is stuck right now. So hopefully the internet will catch up.
There she is.
So fast. There she is. Awesome.
41.
So we want to thank everybody for joining us today on the Success in Aging show. Ann Peel is like a second mother to Di and I. She is our sister's mother in love. And she has been the wonderful mother to her son, Vern, for, oh my goodness, just a couple of years, right? Vern is just a child, right? She is a grandmother and a great grandmother. And today she's going to be sharing life stories about relationships, love, friendships, and exercise, which is so important to her. She is 91 years old. You wouldn't be able to tell. She is a spitfire, a firecracker from the old joke that Vern used to always say about the city. Where do you live in Kentucky?
I live in Frankfort, but we used to live at the Forks of Elkhorn.
The joke is, how do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky? Louisville?
Oh, yes.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Neither. Frankfort. Right. I love it. So you're also going to have to share, because didn't you run the government there for a long time?
But eventually I got a job as a director of research for the Kentucky Department of Commerce.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So she's also an influencer, people. Oh my goodness.
That's
an
right.
influencer before it was cool.
That's
so
right.
With a broom.
I love it. I love it. So I will let Di ask you a bunch of questions, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to be popping in because, again, I love you so much, Ann. And it is such a thrill to have you all the way from Kentucky on our show, just to be able to ask you those questions that we've always wanted to ask. And now we'll have them recorded for all of eternity.
Well, I'm sorry that you two are close, so I could give you a hug and a kiss.
I know.
That would be our favorite thing.
I'll send them home with Louise.
Okay. Good job.
I'm glad. All right, Di, you take over, and I can't wait to hear about all the stories that you're going to share today.
Well, Ann, it is again such a delight to see you. And I told Mary earlier today, I said, we might have to pull her off the tabletop she's dancing on.
That's a family story. But honey, when your son gets a PhD, you can't do anything less.
That's right. And especially a PhD in nuclear engineering before we ever realized how important that was. And, Vern and Louise, who are right there off camera, we welcome you to come on and say hello. Anyone else who's in the room, if they want to come in and say hello, we'd be happy as can be to do that.
Yeah,
they are precious treasures. Louise, hi, sweetheart. Hi, Billy. Hi, guys. We missed you already. They've been in your time zone for about 3 days, and I'm telling you, we are calculating when we can say hello. But back to you. I am very interested in picking your brain about love. We're almost to Valentine's Day, and today is Groundhog's Day.
I know.
Now, also, the most amazing thing that Groundhog Day would fall on the number 2 of 22, which is a total repetition. I think we all need to have that movie tonight for fun. Groundhog.
Oh, Groundhog. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen it, but
oh my goodness.
How would I know? I've forgotten half of what I know.
But the important things that you do know are in your heart, and they're gonna come out right now. So one of the things that I know about you and have been so proud for these 40 years is that you were courageous enough to have a late life love. And what a wonderful man Jim Peel was. Can you tell us about him and you and your love?
Well, he was actually introduced to me by my mother, who was working in the Economic Development Administration.
Wow.
And he had to get money from them. Okay. And that's where we met.
Okay.
But he called and asked me to go to a football game. And I said, I hate football. Okay. Well, he called me back about a week later and said, will you go to a football game with me? And I said, only if you feed me.
Good job.
So we went. My sister was alive then, and she said, you're so mean to that man.
I don't think that's mean.
The first time he kissed me, I knew I had come home.
Oh, Anne, what a beautiful thing to say.
That was exactly my feeling. I'd come home.
Yeah.
That is so romantic.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how old were you?
Marriage was a disaster.
Yeah.
The only thing good that came out of it was the 4 kids. But anyhow.
Yeah. So how old were you when you fell in love with that boy who took you out to eat and then a football game?
I think about 45.
45.
You know, my memory is shot to hell. Everybody can count on that. I mean, I can pass Jeopardy other than local late song. But
yes. Well, you know what? 45 is a time, it takes a lot of courage, especially when you have 4 kids.
Yeah, when you've both been divorced too.
That's right. And you have a career that could probably, take care of you your whole life. That's a big deal, a big jump into this new space.
Into work. I didn't stay home.
No, I know. My goodness. You were helping run the economic health of Kentucky.
Just research.
That's it. That's it. Well, and you're very brave right now. So at 91, so that was half your life ago, you fell in love with Jim, and you had a lot of good times.
Yes, he had been with a government agency in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Oh my!
So that was after we retired. That was the first trip we took.
Wow!
We went to Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And then thanks to my son Vern, I went to China with Jane.
Wonderful. Your daughter, Jane.
Yeah, they had a nursing conference. So
Beautiful.
I went with her and had a wonderful time.
Beautiful. And there's a lot of love around you and your kids. I've seen it all these years. And Jane decided, and Jane is married, but she decided to move to your house to be with you and just assist in any way these last months. And she is actually, like you said, a nurse by trade, and she's a very important nurse.
She's a nurse practitioner now.
That's right.
Write prescriptions and everything.
Wow.
So when she tells me to do something, I do it.
That's right. You basically have your own geriatrician in the house.
Do you
know how many people would love to have their own geriatrician in the house? Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, you reminded me of my first Valentine's Day after I married. And I went to work and there was a bouquet of flowers and a card on my desk.
Okay.
And we went out to dinner that night.
Wow, how romantic. We have someone in our comments community right now, Anne. This is Jay Chun. He happens to be my cameraman every weekend for my Season of Life videos. And he says, love, so excited, and thank you for your show coming on today. And we appreciate you, Jay. Yep.
Well,
and so
getting old is no mystery. Your personality doesn't have to change.
That's right.
And when you're in your 40s, at 45, we stopped smoking.
Okay.
And in order to not want that after dinner cigarette, we walked. And then walking got very boring. So then we started to run. And we did a running club. And we started running 6 miles every night after work.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And then we continued that. And then I was in church with my younger son and his wife.
Okay.
And I passed out.
No,
And they said I was having a heart attack.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. Recently.
Okay, so after that, I had to go to rehab, cardiac rehab.
Uh-huh.
And so I went to that twice a week, and I went to exercise 3 times. And I lost down to about 105 pounds. And
Wow.
that's really helped me
Yes.
with my breathing.
Yes. I will say as a gerontologist that exercise, continuous exercise, meaning daily, 5 times a week, whatever you do, is so positive for every system in your body.
And you need to strain yourself a little.
That's
You
right.
really do. I mean, just plain old sauntering along won't do it.
No, there has to be the strain.
You can use tins of vegetables as weights.
That's right. We don't really need fancy things. I tell people to go take a couple of Ziploc bags, the snack size, go out to the garden, put soil or gravel or anything in them, and stick them each in your side pockets or in your hip pockets. And just that weight-bearing exercise alone adds the stress. It also, for those of us who have osteoporosis problems, it helps to make our bones stronger because that's what weight-bearing exercise does. So you nailed it on carrying vegetables.
Yeah, vegetable soup, in a can.
Wow, that's right. Exactly. We can start with a small Campbell size and then we can work up to the, Yes.
And you can do push-ups against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Excellent. Excellent.
So, anyhow, I'm a devotee of exercise.
And it shows. I'm very proud of you. The other thing that exercise really helps is it drives dementia away. And you obviously have none of that.
It didn't with Jim.
Okay.
But it may have, I don't know.
Yeah.
We still don't know. But he was in good shape until he just leaned over and died.
Oh, my.
He was at the Veterans Center here in Kentucky, and it was a marvelous place, wonderful. And I went to see him almost every day.
Fantastic. Fantastic. The Veterans Department all around the United States does do wonderful things for our beautiful veterans. Tell us about Jim's service.
He was on a little wooden minesweeper out in the Pacific.
Wow.
And it was hit. And he was thrown off.
I'm sorry.
And managed to hang on to something that floated and was in the water for about 24 hours.
Wow.
And suddenly this boat came along, a big one.
Okay.
Or a destroyer or something. And they had a service group that acted as guards.
Yes.
And this guard saw him in the water and alerted the captain, and he was rescued.
Wow.
And he went to the Philippines for hospitalization.
Okay.
And when he came home, he had to finish his senior year in high school.
Oh my goodness. Was this World War II?
I came in when he was 16.
Was this World War II?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
Mary and my dad managed to get in at 17 and did a year and then, went on to college after that. But isn't it, it's so amazing.
He did a little, he was called back for Korea, and he was put on an icebreaker in Alaska. Oh, he has some wonderful pictures of Eskimos.
Well, those are wonderful stories. We have a lot of veterans who, that's one of the groups that we serve with Success in Aging and Season of Life. And so, yes, Karen Rashid, thanks for being here so much. Isn't that a great story, Karen? Yes. And speaking, Jay, yes, she is seasoned. Thank God. Beautiful seasoning. Beautiful. Better than Mrs. Dash. So you have some more stories, and there is, I know that you have had a wonderful dog named Beauregard in your life.
Oh, yes.
And you have a photo to show us. Can you show us that?
Yeah, you want to get that one over there. Beauregard was our basset hound. And we had to bring him from Dallas.
Okay. Okay. Now hold it up just a little. Oh my goodness. There he is in the front on the floor. He looks as big as you.
Well, he was pretty big, but
Thank you.
I have to ask, who is the boy who's petting the dog in that picture? That's not Vern, is it?
Is that Mac?
Yeah, that's Mac. That's Vern.
Okay,
He
because
he has a nickname.
he's Mac, yeah. Because he's always Big Mac to us, right? Hey,
The cheese.
that's a whole other show. Anyways, but when you first held up that picture before we started, I thought it was my father as a
I
child.
did too.
Really?
So Louise, you married your dad.
I know. I think he's cuter. I do.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in.
That's from a
Similar teacher.
They both
It's
definitely-
crazy. I really thought it was our dad when he was like a teenager.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I
That's
decided
why
to
our
fun
dad
and
adored
rib Louise a
Vern.
little bit.
Oh my God. My
Did I
dad
tell you
adored Vern.
that he thought your dad was wonderful after he found out he was an old Navy man.
Yeah.
How long did Beauregard live?
Well, he lived long enough to go to the farm and roll in carrion and bringing back the kids. He was sitting in the front seat, just sitting and stinking.
You know, our community here doesn't really know your whole big story of your farm in
I want to hear
Kentucky.
about the chicken ranch because that's a whole nother
Well,
story.
that was first. My dad built a 2-story chicken house. I mean, looked like a double bed apartment. And they had 4 rooms, and she had 1,000 chickens in each room.
Okay.
And she sold the eggs and sold the roosters and
Wow.
used it to help put me through college
Wow.
and made most of my clothes.
Wow. Your mom was so industrious. If she was holding down a government job and doing all of that, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fabulous.
She was working for the federal government at the Lexington jail. No, Lexington Federal Jail. At that time, it was just for drug users.
Okay. Wow. Your family really has a history of service. Your mother, you, your daughter, your son. I mean, honestly, it's just a beautiful thing to see how family traditions and the ethics and values that we pass down.
Same way with your family.
Yeah, that's true.
Same way.
Well,
Exactly.
that's why Louise and Vern found each other.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you,
Okay.
I got a new daughter when I married Jim.
You did? Tell us.
Well, she was just graduated from high school. She was 16 or 17, and she was going to UK.
Okay.
University of Kentucky.
Yep.
And that first summer, Jim got her a part-time job at the state.
Okay.
She lived with me.
All right.
Away from
Beautiful.
home. And she just like my own child. She's been over here helping me. She's stayed.
Yeah.
And her husband is a devout Roman Catholic, as is she.
Okay.
She changed from a Presbyterian. But
Okay.
anyhow, they have been wonderful. And their 4 children, who are my grandchildren,
Yes.
have all been to see me. In fact, it's been really crowded with relatives.
See, this is what I know about you and love. People love you because you love them. And the way that you give to others, Anne, is a testament to your whole belief system that we should do good things while we have life and have breath in us.
Yes, that's the one thing I'd say about some people. I think some people are mean and crotchety because they're concentrating on themselves.
Good point.
And then nobody wants to see them.
Good point.
I've always said that about, but I see no difference in getting old than just living.
So we need some tips because, you know, those of us on the other side of our computers right now, we have secret thoughts. We have some fears and we have hopes. And I always say you can't get to your hopes until you face your fear about aging straight on.
Well, everybody has fears, but so what?
Can't let it rule you.
Okay.
Can't let it rule you.
No.
No. Right. Louise is right. You're right, Louise.
Ooh, finally.
My little rock of Gibraltar, you.
Oh, you're right. You're right. She's wonderful.
Yep. So, okay, we need some encouragement, I believe, after 2 years of lockdown, after 2 years of being isolated, after 2 years of the ins and outs of something we've never been through before. Please give us some encouragement, Anne.
Well, eventually the idiots that aren't getting vaccinated are either going to die off or they're going to develop some intelligence. But
okay.
Until we get more people vaccinated, we are in trouble. But I see it going. I don't know as quickly as everybody wants it.
Good.
But if we keep it going, we're going to have more anomalies, more different types.
Right. So, and what do you think about people's need to gather together after this stressful time? You've developed this wine group, Wine Time.
Well, no,
Can you give us some stories about that?
Yeah. We had a darling person move in here about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And she came to me one day because we had known each other. And she said, don't the people here get together that live here in the hotel? And I said, no. She said, well, I'm going to get it started. So she did. And we were meeting we take each different apartment and we meet once a week in a different apartment and get
progressive.
To know.
Okay.
So then I guess one Christmas, we all started sitting out in the elevator lobby. And since I've been down and couldn't go and drag those two, they've been coming here.
Wow. Okay.
Every day.
Every day. What time is wine time for you kids?
5 o'clock, 5 to 6. Go home at 6 so we can watch the news.
Maybe with a little more wine.
And the conversations could probably go on the stage.
Oh, I'll bet. Bet. What are some of the favorite topics?
You'll never know. The one thing we don't allow is religion or politics.
Good rule. Good rule.
And we have somebody who was born Jewish but does not practice it. And we have some strong Republicans, some strong Democrats. So we were getting into too many fights.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. We don't. There are too many other things to talk about.
Anything you can think of, it just comes up.
Books,
wow.
Books, trips.
Yeah, books.
Schools.
And
grandkids.
Oh, thank you, Karen. She said, you guys are so fun. And then she said, laughter is the best medicine. Laughter
You're right. She's medicine. Right. And we do laugh. We laugh a lot. We have one member who's, she says, I don't know. I left Pennsylvania when I was 2 years old because I was going to die. So we went to Albuquerque. And I don't know anything because I've been living in Albuquerque so many times. And then another member who has, her granddaughter has relatives in Owenton, which is a little town. She doesn't like them. She calls them the Owenton Bunch.
Oh. Well, that's a pretty safe nickname.
Wonderful times. And every one of them has probably seen Jane professionally when she was doing her nurse practitioning.
Wow. Isn't that something? Yeah.
So I just leave the door ajar all the time. People come in and out.
Awesome.
And the people that work here are marvelous.
That's really good.
They call us family.
Yes.
I've been here 10 years.
10 years now.
And it's wonderful to be around people. When you sit in your house, you by yourself, you can get depressed. So
isolation. Yeah, isolation is really crummy. And I'm reaching back here for my glass of water, Anne, because this is where everybody who's comes on my show in a regular way. Here you go, toast. Just click the side of our of our glasses. Yes. Okay. So hydration is so important, as Mary's put up. I like we say, call a friend and enjoy a drink of water. But the awful statistics on isolation and for people over 65 is that if we socially isolate, don't have human touch, don't talk to other people, our mortality rate goes up 46%, which is terrible. And actually, many great studies have come to the conclusion that for an adult over 65 to isolate is as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day.
Oh, Lord.
Which is a cumulative effect. So on my show, I say 15 sips of water a day.
Yeah, you're right.
And so we're fighting hydration and we're fighting isolation because a very kind thing to do, and you are a kind woman. You're spicy and you're spunky, but you're also very kind because you do allow people to come into your home. The kind thing to do is really call someone and encourage them with a bit of advice that has come from your wisdom.
But I'm also hoping they'll do more dusting. We do have housekeepers who are wonderful. They're just like my children. They're wonderful.
That's awesome. Well, really? The maintenance man?
Oh, he's wonderful. He knows everything. Things get fixed overnight or next minute or.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
the woman at the desk that has been here so long, she just brought my mail this morning. She is an African American and one of the sweetest, cutest people I've ever known.
Good. My friend Audrey just piped in and said, I can only pray God grants me the same humor, spice, and kindness as Anne when I reach my latter years.
Well, that's very nice of her to say. Just Audrey, keep doing what you're doing.
And if you knew Audrey, you'd know it's true. She's a Medicare insurance specialist and works with seniors all day long. And she's also a widow, and she has a heart as big as California.
Well, that's very good, because when you're working with Medicare people, you need to have a big heart.
Yes, you do. And the beautiful thing is that in Medicare this year, I tell everybody as a gerontologist, I said, oh my gosh, go shopping. This year, 2022, Medicare has a federal mandate to keep people in their homes. So your insurance supplement company has to put money behind you staying in your home. I'm having a contractor look at my home to make a few adjustments according to Medicare standard. So yes, and but we all should take a really good look at our Medicare supplement plans this year, and they're going to put money into your teeth, into your eyes, into your house. It's really fabulous.
Well, I'm glad to know that, but I can't get out to any of my appointments. So,
well, tell the wine girls and guys, tell your wine group, go shopping, look at their Medicare supplement plan and call a broker. And
now that's insurance. That's just plain insurance that they don't make clear in their television ads. And we all know that.
That's it.
And I have insurance provided with my pension.
Beautiful.
Humana.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Well, they've got money because this is a federal mandate. Anyone over 65 with Medicare, they're out there. So have Vern take a look at that.
Well, I have Advantage, which is that.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And so you're Advantage.
Advantage.
Audrey says there is transportation for Anne. She says, call me, Anne. Louise, I'll text you Audrey's phone number. She works in all 50 states. And
tell Audrey that I cannot leave because I'm on 15 liters of oxygen and they're two big tanks. I gave my rolling, my little travel ones to my son-in-law.
That's very kind.
It's Chris. Well,
kind.
who else was going to? And he is on a low level of oxygen. So.
Good. Well, we need to do for ourselves what we need to do. And, Anne, I don't want to tire you out much more, but what is your best piece of advice for people who are beginning to face, as what we call them, the injustices of old age?
Fight them.
I love you so much. You're right.
Don't use them as an excuse.
Good.
Now, if you fall down,
be more detailed about that. What should you fight? Like negative thoughts, or
yes,
or what kind of things should you fight?
You fight, I guess, the fear that
Yeah.
you're going to do something that isn't good for you, or whatever. But you just have to try.
And when your wisdom from earlier, where get moving, get running, get walking, move, fight back, and fight the fear. There's a difference between being brave and being courageous.
Yes.
Being brave is of the moment, but being courageous is to face whatever years ahead of us are and say, I can do this. I can do it with God's help and all of the good training from your parents and grandparents, through all of your educators, all of your work. We each have a tremendous reserve inside of ourselves. Are people calling in?
Wow, bigger name online too, huh?
It's Will.
Yeah, I think
It's Will. One of our grandkids.
I know you're calling.
That's so great.
Well, Anne, I know that you have so many visitors, so many, people who want your time. We probably shouldn't take much more of your time. But I love this advice. Fight the fear, right? I think so many of us are living in this fear, and I think that ages you prematurely, right?
Yeah, it makes you sit too much.
Yeah.
Which I'm doing now, because moving around causes me to breathe so heavily.
Right.
Well, but we all can see you have been constantly, your body is not, you're not hunched over and just like this. You are still moving, and we're very proud of you, Anne. We're just so happy to have spent this time with you. Thank you so much.
I have loved all the Pattersons. I mean, all the Alexanders.
Yep.
Wow, thank you. I'm like, what?
Louise knows what I'm talking about.
I know I'm
Alexander,
secretly your favorite. I know I'm secretly
your mother-in-law.
What? My mother-in-law passed last year.
Yeah. Well, she was a wonderful woman.
She was a spitfire, just like you, just like our mother.
We girls know how to marry men with spitfire moms. Like, I think we all in our family were attracted to men who had powerful moms, because that made them appreciate powerful women. Yeah. Because my mom raised very independent, powerful women.
Yes.
And it's kind of interesting how our men are almost complete opposites of us, but they're raised by women just like us. And so this is like all like everything coming in. It's kind of a cool realization, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
Louise, stick your head in the picture one more time, please. Give your mother-in-law a kiss. Give your mother-in-law a kiss. Oh, you look so cute. Oh,
she is so good to me.
Over all these years, all the fun we've had together, and you've come out from Kentucky enough times to California so that Mary and I could spend time with you too. And we're just so glad that Louise has just brought you into our lives.
I'm glad too, and I couldn't have picked a better wife for my son.
Well, there you go. There you go.
You mean we have a part in that?
They were married
as mothers of sons. I'm so excited. I'm trying to find the picture that Di sent me just to show it on my phone of you. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is one of our most treasured pictures.
Yes.
Of you and our mom. You see that?
Oh, yes. I loved her. She was so good to me.
And she was wearing oxygen.
California.
We have it, Diane. But she was wearing oxygen in that picture, just like you are now.
Yeah. And And she had your face in her hand because that was our mom. If she treasured someone, she would hold their face in her hand.
Yeah.
And there you are. And that picture, every time you call me, that's the picture that comes up on my phone. And I just treasured your relationship with our mom. And
Oh, yeah.
we love
She
you
was-
so much.
Well, you know, you never know how you're going to be received.
Mhm. That's right.
And it was just like walking into an old friend's arms.
Yeah. Well,
Oh my goodness, you got me on the romantic story. Now you're getting me on stories of my mom. Like, what the heck, Anne? Goodness sake. In
we
fact,
love you.
one of our guests is like, you're going to make me cry.
That's what
I won't
Karen
do
is
that.
saying. Yeah.
I may even say a swear word.
Oh, we love it. Last week's guest, she dropped the F-bomb on the show. And she's 93. Is she 93?
Well, I dropped one.
No,
earlier.
Dolores is 92. Yeah, Dolores is 92.
That was my mother's favorite word. She was at her nursing home, and the priest sat down with us and his dog, and it was her birthday, and I brought her a cake. And I said, well, Mom, wouldn't you like some of your friends to have her cake? Have some of your cake? She said, shit, no. And I thought the priest would fall out of his chair laughing.
He said a novena for her.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he was used to it.
Just to let you know, we've had another friend join us from somewhere in the middle of the country. Mark McCoyne popped on to say hi to all of us. He too is a widower and knows all about getting older. And I just love that people who are attracted to wonderful stories like you have given us, Anne. You've given us wonderful stories. And we so appreciate you doing this.
Oh, honey, I was glad you out talk at the drop of a hat.
I think the three of us share that in common. That's why we like each other so much.
No.
Oh, bless you.
So do you have any? Oh, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I just wish my hair looked a little better, but
I think it looks adorable.
I think I
Goodness
see
sakes.
fairy dust in it myself. I do. It's maybe because you know, Disneyland is right behind me about a mile, but I kind of think Tinkerbell flew over that today.
So, Anne, is there any last words of wisdom that you want to share about, you know, again, you had shared about late in life love and how, you know, you gained a bonus daughter with that relationship. You talked about your friendships that you have every night, talking with wine. You talked about your love of exercise and why you attribute that to your longevity and how you feel so great. If it wasn't for the damn oxygen, you could run a mile. I love that. Is there any other advice that you want to share before we end the show?
no, just be yourself and don't change.
That's right. You're the same girl, right?
Yeah.
That you were all your life.
My mother used to say, there's a 16-year-old girl up there.
Making all the bad decisions, right?
That's
Oh,
right.
Lord.
My mother, I once gave her a book that was called We Girls with Grandmother Faces. And it was a story about a group of friends who were friends since they were 16, but they just grew old together. But they would look in the mirror and go, who is this old lady in the mirror? Because they all still felt 16 because they all had grandmother faces now.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true. We don't stop thinking the same way. So I love your encouragement. It's just be yourself because there's no, God only made one of you, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
And you can be more honest. You don't have to, you can keep your mouth shut.
Ooh, that's a bonus to growing old.
Right, that mind your business. I just keep seeing that over and over again. I'm here drinking water, minding my business.
Oh my goodness. These
Well,
are
it's
precious.
lovely. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, good. Well, because
your whole
we
life
love
is
you.
this show. We love you, Anne. Now, Anne, we're going to go off air, but we'd like you to stay on because we're going to take a cute little picture of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, everyone, thank you for joining us live. Thank you
everyone.
for chiming in with Anne to share her stories. And we are so grateful. If you know of anyone this would be some encouragement to, please share the show on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel.
Yes.
We really appreciate you being here live. And again, if you ever want to just watch it, Di does have her shows live and also in archive on her website.
Okay.
So we look
nobody here at the hotel. They're all pretty up with it.
Good.
Yeah,
because they can go watch it and just laugh.
We have one that's just 61.
Oh my!
Oh,
youngster,
just a child.
We call him the baby
in the White
Oh,
and we have a retired Catholic. He was married, so he left the Catholic Church. So Father Brown lives right below me, and he.
Oh wow!
That's a great TV show. Your daughter-in-law Louise got me watching that show, Father Brown. That was a great show.
Oh, yeah. Well, he really is a Father Brown, but he speaks Latin.
Beautiful. I took Latin. I got a year of Latin in Catholic Girls High School, and I loved it. And I tried to get my daughter to take Latin, and the Latin teacher died during class.
And they didn't appoint me.
That was the last Latin teacher in Anaheim Union High School District. So she switched to French. But these are the stories of our lives, and we appreciate the stories of your life, Anne. Thank you so much for this. Please give all of your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids there in Kentucky big hugs of love from us out here, okay?
I will.
Okay.
If I get my hands on them, I'll do it.
That's right. Okay, so stay on the line. But I also want to tell anybody who's still left on the show that we have another show today, our regularly scheduled show at 2:30. We're going to be speaking with Rick Craig about his new book called When It's Time. So look forward to having you guys back at 2:30 and stay on, and we'll end the show. But thank you so much again for being on the Success in Aging show.